I am Curran Bhatia chatting with Rajon, Picasso, Chance. Rajon, it's a pleasure to speak with you. And I want to talk a little bit about your most recent fight, but I also want to talk a little bit about your boxing journey and everything else. First of all, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, doing good, getting mentally better, mentally prepared for the world, I should say. Um, and what I could say is ready to get back in there now that I got all of the dramas and dramatics out the way. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good now.
So, and let's talk about for people who may not know, uh, you had a fight recently, April 6th. That was
Yeah,
against Trayvon Lawson. That was at
yes,
Mohegan Sun. And
yes,
I was calling that fight. So coming into that fight, you were 8-0-1 with 6 knockouts. You're only 23 years old. You're fighting at 122 pounds. You've had spectacular
yeah,
performances up to this point.
yeah,
And you ended up getting a split decision loss in that fight. I personally did not agree with that. I was calling the fight. I thought you won
right,
almost every round. And so I want to talk to you about that fight. But first of all, there may be people listening to this podcast when it gets posted who
okay,
are not necessarily familiar with you and your story and who you are because you are making your
right,
name still. You are a prospect. So for anyone who
right.
doesn't know, I know you're representing East Orange, New Jersey. Give a little bit of a background about yourself as a fighter.
Myself as a fighter, Picasso is the perfect name because my fighting style, one, it can be very awkward. That's one. It can be very aggressive. That's two. And it can be just a classy performance as well. And as far as like my outcome with my fighting style, it also comes with a lot of pain. Like what I go through in life and what people don't see. You know what I'm saying? So me being from East Orange is good. I live in a good part of East Orange now. But before, me and my brothers used to couldn't like go outside in Arlington and all that other stuff. We used to just play in the circle just to stay out of trouble. Like my parents made sure that we were out of trouble. Not going, but we were kids that like, oh, don't fuck with those motherfuckers. They don't got it all. We were kids that was basically me and my brothers was kids that was basically like, oh, we outside. Oh, mommy and daddy not around. You know what I'm saying? That was just us. But overall, East Orange was a place that made us and made us to who we are because of the support system and how everybody is more so impressed that we're kids that's trying to make it out. You get what I'm saying? Even with us still living in a good part of East Orange or whatever, we're still kids trying to make it out, be better, be great. And even with the game banging and stuff that glue goes on, like out here, they don't bother us. They actually support us as well because it's like, oh nah, those kids, y'all don't mess with them. They're gonna be great. So it's cool. It's actually people that pushes us, I should say.
And you started boxing at age 7. And I know your dad took you to the gym, you fell in love with it. And I know you've had your dad in your corner as well. Sometimes in fights, you'll hear your dad say an instruction and you'll verbally say, okay, dad, and you'll follow through with what he's telling you to do.
Yeah,
And you mentioned the nickname Picasso. When I first asked you about it, you said, I'm an artist in the ring. And I noticed that in your fighting style as well, because you are very creative in a lot of things you do, offense, defense, things that you don't normally see in the ring. So you're trying to add a fresh perspective to it. So tell me a little bit about that. Tell me about your relationship with your dad and how he got you into boxing, and then also how all of that developed into your unique style that you bring into the ring.
my relationship with my dad is good, good relationship. I'm gonna have to say he's the person that will tweak some things in like my head, like that y'all wouldn't really know because it's just like a code, like or the way he looked. It's like, oh, he mad. Let me go fix it. Go fuck him up. You know what I mean? That's just what that's just what me and my brothers are immune to and we adapt to. Like, for example, my brother Emmanuel, he's the baby. He's the on the USA team, 14-time national champ. He's on the streak right now with the USA boxing. So he had a fight. He was in he was fighting a kid, one of his friends, and they fighting. Now after the round was over, everybody had, they now you can see the scorecards on the USA boxing when the rounds is over. Round was over, the kid won the round, but it's like the kid is not on Manny level, and my dad knew that, so he never spoke to my brother. He just looked at him with eyes. My brother was like, I tightened up his headgear and stopped the kid the next round. And he took over the whole tournament and became a 14-time national champion. So that just goes to show the kind of training that we had been through and the kind of mental that he put on us. You get what I'm saying? So having my dad around is also good because he tweaks stuff in us that we need for a fight.
And you've had your dad in your corner, like you said, and obviously his instructions are very helpful to you. And I
Yeah,
think that just shows about where you're at as a fighter. Only 23 years old, but you have the awareness to almost
right.
have this dialogue or look at your dad and even make tweaks that way. And that shows of where your skill level is at. That's something that is developed because you started boxing at the age of
Right.
7, right? Because you have that muscle memory, because you can think that way in the ring at such a high level, that high ring IQ. So that's a testament to your story. So we were talking about your fighting record. The last time we saw you before this previous fight was in March of 2023. You were fighting in White Eagle Hall in Jersey City. You're from New Jersey, so that was a big opportunity for you. You got the first round TKO win. So
Pat,
that place was packed, and the energy. Well, before we even talk about this most recent fight, what was it like to headline in Jersey City and have your fans there supporting you?
it was amazing. And the reason why it was so amazing because it was like I didn't expect that much people to come. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I know I'm from Jersey. Yes, I know like okay, he's Wheezy. You know what I mean? In Jersey, I'm known as Wheezy. So when I go out there on the stage, one of my brothers already like told me from backstage, like, yo, you got a crowd out there. They said Shadeja was out there, Shadeja Green, Ian Green,
Yeah.
uh, Big Bang, the Chinese guy, and it was NFL players. They said it was a lot. I'm like, that many people came for this show? I'm like, damn, okay, shit, let me go. I didn't want to go see, but I wanted to stay focused. So they just told me, yeah, stay in the room. I'm like, all right, cool. So after when I went out, I was trying to be serious, but I was smiling at the same time. It was like, whoa, I packed the plate. I basically showed like, oh, okay, this is what he bring to the table when he fight home. You get what I'm saying? So it was a exciting experience. See, I got the knockout, so it definitely was an exciting experience. Exciting, very exciting.
You got the knockout in the first round TKO. I was calling that fight. And
Mm.
you performed in front of the home crowd, as you said. It was an electric atmosphere. So that all led you to your most recent fight, which coming into this fight, you were 8-0-1, 6 knockouts. You were taking on Trayvon Lawson, who also was undefeated. Coming into this fight, he was 5-0 with 3 knockouts, but he hadn't fought since 2021. So uh, coming into this fight, what were you expecting from Trayvon Lawson? He hadn't fought in a little bit, but he was also an undefeated opponent. So what was going through your head coming into the fight?
I was still expecting him to come out a little explosive because at the end of the day, yes, people do not fight, but people train. You know what I'm saying? People train very hard, and I see that he's training hard. I see that because it's not like I'm a person that's like going not take a little look at who I'm fighting a little bit. So I see that he's training hard. I see who he trained around. I see he's been posted because it wasn't like he just fought Angel Barrientos, even though that's the person I was expecting to fight. I was expecting to get pushed back and me going to box, but it turns out I end up pushing him back and doing what I did. But regardless of what, and the simple matter of fact, I expected him to be a little explosive, but I guess not with me. It's just a little different. But he's a fighter that you don't sleep on, I should say, because at any given time, Trayvon do got a little thump. I mean, even though it went away after the fourth round, I'm not trying to talk shit. Even though it went away after the fourth round, but regardless of what, I expected a great fight and a great opponent because of how he trained. You could not fight in God knows how long and have the best performance of your life. We've seen it with Earl Spence and Danny Garcia. We've seen it with the big Charlo when he came back. He didn't fight for a year and he came back with a great performance. So as long as you stay consistent in the gym and working on your craft, just wait for your opportunity, get your life together. I feel like anybody can come out on top. So I did. Trayvon Lawson was not to sleep on, even with him having a 3 year layover and me having a year layover. We both stayed in the gym consistently, and he was still hungry as well. So I didn't sleep on him at all.
He was hungry. You were hungry. You're both undefeated coming into this fight. And I was calling this fight, and myself and my co-commentator, we were taking in everything that you were doing. You were showing a lot of different things. You had a lot, very unique defense. At certain points, you had a lot of really great movement. And from what I remember of the fight, there was a lot of stick and move, throw a combination, get out of the way. And it felt like there was a little bit of frustrating Lawson. To Lawson's credit, he did keep coming. He was trying to, stand on his punches, land some power shots. But you were an elusive target, and at certain times you were even backing him up. You were trying a bunch of different things in the ring. You were also, like we said, you were taking advice from your dad. We would hear you verbally say, okay, dad, and make adjustments.
Yeah.
As you went in the ring. And that's one of the things I really like about watching you as a fighter. It's very fan friendly. You do so many unique things, and it's I think the Picasso nickname is very valid because of that. It really is taking something that people do in a very typical way and adding your own spin on it, which I do really like.
Right.
So I personally, watching this fight, calling this fight, I thought that you were going to be successful in this fight when it went to the scorecards. When the fight went to the scorecards, what was going through your head? Did you think that there was any chance that you would be losing a decision at that time?
All right, excuse my language. Fuck no. Because I look, one thing about me and one thing I'm gonna get out to the world is I can take a loss. I will smile at a real loss. Like, oh yeah, he was the better man tonight. Okay, he got me. I'll cry later. Y'all won't see me, but I'll cry later. But when what can I say? All right, the example I'm gonna give. When I fought Elon De Jesus, we fought twice. The first time we fought, we had a draw. But I'm gonna be completely honest with myself. That fight should have not went to no draw. He beat me. He clearly beat me. It was his night that night. I was off. I had a concussion before the fight. It was so much shit with me going on before that fight that it was like tonight not my night. It was his night. You know what I'm saying? Which is why the second time I was young, yes, but the second time I came out, smarter, stronger, and ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? And beat him. But regardless of the matter is, if even if we would have fought the second time and he would have won, it would have been like, okay, that was a closer fight. Even though I still edged it out, but it was a closer fight than what me and TJ Lawson had. With TJ Lawson, I don't see where it was like, oh, okay, maybe this is why. I would give a 5-3 on some mercy round. Like not on some, okay, give him 3 rounds to make it look good. 7-9 to 79-71 scorecard was perfect. That's what I thought. I'm like, okay. Once I heard that, that's when I'm like, okay, we won the fight. But then I'm looking, I'm like, wait, hold up. That don't Chance didn't come out his mouth. Did he just say lost? So I was like, okay. I never like really experienced that as the pro level. As an amateur, I did. I used to laugh at it when I fought Reagan. It happens. You get what I'm saying? It happens in the amateurs. You get used to it, so you just smile it off. But this is the pro league where your life is on the line. Your career is on the line. It's so much stuff that you sacrifice for this, and you make weight, and you do so much shit for something to be taken away from you. That's the only part I don't like about boxing. You got to be fair because you can fuck up someone's life like that. Like if I wasn't mentally strong or anything, people my age would have been, I quit. I just seen that shit. I'm not doing this shit. I'm not a quitter though, but something like that could fuck up somebody's mental. I had to take a 2 week to relax, to like get my thoughts together, get some sleep. But it is hard, but you just got to come back stronger. There's nothing else you can do. And I guarantee you, TJ Lawson will not give me a rematch again. So you just got to bear with the chief.
Hopefully, there is an opportunity to right that wrong and get a rematch. Looking at the scorecards, the first scorecard read 79-73 in your favor. So that means that that judge gave you all but one round. It was an 8-round fight. So that means that judge gave you 7 rounds.
Okay.
And that means you dominated the fight in that judge's mind. The other two scorecards, though, 77-75 for Lawson, and so that means that the judge that was a razor thin on those judges' scorecards, but they gave Lawson the extra round, so the 5-4 kind of thing. That with that said, that even right there, you can see a little bit of inconsistency because one judge sees it very dominant one way, and then two others see it so differently. It's interesting to see there. And this is nothing against Trayvon Lawson, because Lawson is doing
Absolutely.
what he's supposed to be doing and fighting
Absolutely.
the best of his ability. And if a decision
Absolutely.
goes away, you
Yes.
mentioned being, upset about the loss, and I think there's something really valid to that, because it's unfortunate, but there is something in boxing where fighters get looked different when they lose their own. And I don't think they should. I think boxing, should be like UFC or other
Absolutely.
sports, where if you get a loss, that's not a big deal. Manny Pacquiao had many losses. Muhammad Ali had many losses. Top fighters have had losses. I think the thing that makes this difficult, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that it wasn't necessarily like a hard fought fight in your mind where it's like, oh, I lost today. It was a fight that you felt you
Yeah.
dominated, and
Yes.
there's a difference, right? Is that how you're taking
Yes.
it?
Yes. Yes. Like I said, like I'm not one of those kids where it's like, because like I took Trayvon Lawson on, a kid that upsets people. It's not, and I took a whole year off. I could have fought a bum. I could have fought, but I didn't want that. You get what I'm saying? I wanted to. All right, let's up it. All right, let's get excited. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a reason to fight. You get what I'm saying? Because with all respect, I know you take every fight serious, but I know my skill level. You get what I'm saying? Not to be cocky, not to be judging other fighters, but I know my skill level. With Trayvon, I knew he was strong. I know he came to fight. So I was excited, like, oh yeah, it's a fight. It's a fight. I'm gonna fight today. You get what I'm saying? That I even told everybody in the locker room, like, yo, I'm excited. That's why I can't stop smiling. Because I feel like I'm fighting Elon again. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, let's do it. Let's do this. And then when I got in the ring, the first round was jitters. So I'm like, okay, a little jittery. Second round, it was like, okay, I'm getting a little comfortable. Oh, hit him. There you go. Third round. Then the fourth round came. That's when it's like, I took more risks than I ever took in my whole career so far, especially with a hard hitting motherfucker like that. So it's like, I took risk. My defense was on point. Um, I And when I mean risk, let me tell you something. 8 ounces is no joke. Okay, so it's like, okay, let me see what he got. I'm catching punches. I'm firing back. I'm took punch and I'm firing back. I'm like, oh, I'm okay. I'm here. I'm like, oh, this is me. This is what I'm saying in my head. I'm not going to show everybody, but this is what I'm saying. I did something that I never knew I could do. My head went through the ropes. It came back out. I slipped a punch, hit him, and moved. I've never done that before in a real fight. Sparring is different. But in a real fight with 8 ounce gloves, I ain't never seen my head move that fast through them ropes like that. So it was like, oh, did I do that? I came back in the corner, told my dad, and I looked at him like, and my dad, one thing y'all need to know about my father, he's gonna tell me, like, yo, you need to pick it up. You need to do this. You need it was nothing to say. The only thing my dad really wanted me to do was get him out of here, but I played it safe. Like I played it like I ain't gonna take no risks. He still like I hit him with so much hard shit. It was like, nah, he ain't getting out of here, Dad. He's gonna stand 10 toes today. He's not getting out of here. And he's a tough fighter. You get what I'm saying? He's in the TCL as we speak. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I know he's not getting my rematch because I know who he fought. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, whatever, take it. And he's getting older now, but I didn't see it more so on the business side. It's like I'm the A side. I'm signed. I'm this. Even with PBC, when I really lost, they gave me a draw. You know what I'm saying? That I know how the business go. I know how the politics go. And I'm a man of my word. Elon won that draw. Trayvon didn't win this fight. So it's kind of like, where did I go wrong? Did I say something? Did I do something? Did my family do something to you guys at weigh-in? Like, you get what I'm saying? That it makes you think, like, what the fuck did I go wrong at? Like, that's what's gonna make somebody question the company and all that other stuff, man.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing your perspective. So the question now, to kind of put a bow on it and all of that, is what do you do now? Where do you go from here? I know that you're going to be back to training. It seems like this is motivating you in a way.
Yeah,
And it's unfortunate because you did have a good performance in there, and it's unfortunate that the scorecards did not dictate that. And that's part of boxing in terms of the subjective nature of it. And at the end of the day, three people's opinion is going to make a big difference in a lot of people's careers and trajectories and things like that. Now, to your point, that doesn't, you said this earlier and I agree, that doesn't mean at all that you can't come back from it and all of that. And I'm sure you will. So the question now is, where do you go from here?
Where I go from here, I don't really want to say what I plan on doing as far as like me fighting yet, because I plan on fighting in July. But with all respect, the where I go from here is one, I'm trying to get relief from star boxing. Um, and this is not to say anything bad about Joe DeGuardia. It's not to say anything bad about the star boxing company. Period. I just feel as though one, I'm not active enough. That's one. Even with my injury and what I had, all that was way before. It was way before like October because I got injured in camp. I never got injured in camp as in my camp. I got injured in the Shakur Terrence Crawford camp because I was doing a workout and I snapped my ankle, so I had to like take it easy for a little while. So it wasn't like, oh, he couldn't fight because he got injured. I told Joe, told everybody I'll be back. So that happened October. Doctors told me to take a little week. Even though I didn't listen, but it was starting to affect me, so I had to take a little break. So I told them I'll fight in February. That didn't go through. Told them March. It didn't go through. And the fights that they were getting me, it was like it don't make sense. I'm not one of those kids where it's like, oh yeah, I want the money. No, I want the legacy. I want to make the smart moves. I want to make the moves that make sense. You don't take no B-side fight if you're not ready. That's one. And you don't take a B-side fight when it comes to this business nowadays, because a B-side fight can fuck your whole career up if it's not for a belt, at least, or it's not for the right reason. So the fights that he was getting me to take, it was like, what are you going for, bro? Why are we make a show and let's get our name out there? Or even when I was asking, which was smart, and that was a smart idea. Yes, Ole Duvahan is a doable opponent. He's great. The Pitbull was great for me to fight. It was in house. You get what I'm saying? So that means there's no excuse if, oh, you was this side. This I know Ule was took the A side because he's star boxing and he got the belt at the time. I'm star boxing and I'm just going for his belt. So it would have been like he's not busy. He's not showing himself to be champion. He's not. You know what I'm saying? This social media means a lot. You have to say shit. You have to do shit in order to be out there. He's not saying nothing at all. So let me take his belt and let me do his talking. You get what I'm saying? Let me be the one. You get what I'm saying? Let me do this and let me do that. He's not doing anything. Y'all not doing with him anything at him at all. So it will make me feel some type of way. But now you messed all that up with a robbery. You know what I mean? To me, people supposed to have their fighters protected. You know how many fighters I watched on Top Rank lose and they still won? You know how many fighters I watched lose and they still just because of the signing thing? You get what I'm saying? Not trying to say that is you have to lose or this and that. You lost. No, I won this fight and I wasn't protected. And I started to like take a sit back and to notice like Joe DeGuardia was in the ring with me the first time in March. Why wasn't you in the ring with me this time? You know what I'm saying? So it will make me think and make me go like, you know what? It's cool. I have to take the bullet. I have to eat the bullet. You're not gonna help me my appeal. You're not helping with this. And some kid lost the other day. His promoter is trying to help him with the appeal to get the shit reversed. Why is my promoter not doing that for me? With a person that we came to flew down and the person that's all the way from Alabama and his career is almost over. 34 years fucking old, bro. My young ass beat him. Why are you not being fair to me? So, like I said, with all due respect, thank you for the two fights. I didn't even fight that much time. I'm not in the world rankings. I'm not doing that. You didn't do anything for me. So it's best to release me. No bad blood, no nothing. And that's just that. And I still will wish everybody on the Star Boxing and the Guardia and everybody the best. All love. But let's just leave on peaceful terms, you know?
And to close it out finally, I just wanted to ask you, first of all, I appreciate your time on this interview. I wanted to ask you, you talked about growing up in East Orange and everything that you've been through up to this point, and obviously this, in a way, even if we don't agree with the decision, it is a setback no matter what. And I know after the fight, you were visibly upset, which is so understandable. You're at a
Yeah.
it seems like you're at a better place now, and you've spent some time. And so I'm just wondering if anyone's listening to this, if you have any advice for people who are maybe going through a tough time or something doesn't go their way, right? What is your advice on how you can maybe use that to fuel you, maybe turn a negative into a positive, things that you're doing, any advice for someone listening out there who may be going through a tough time on their own?
The advice I would give to anybody that's going through a tough time on their own is that you're going to go through that tough time forever. But the tough time that you have within you, you have to release it some way, somehow, because I don't advise you to sit there and hold it in, because if I was to hold that in forever, I will quit. And you have to mentally tell yourself that if you quit, then everybody's gonna look at you as a quitter. And then you're gonna have to think to yourself and look at yourself in the mirror that, damn, I really quit. And you could have done this, and you could have pushed through that barrel. You could have got through this obstacle. You know what I'm saying? So my advice to everybody is don't quit. The dreams is not over. Everything, you're always gonna have a bumpy road. You're always gonna have an up and down road. There's no such thing as a motherfucking straight road. Because if there's such thing as a straight road, then that means sooner or later there's gonna be a crack in that straight road, and then the construction's gonna have to fix it. And then you're gonna be all broken down and all sad. No, the bumpy roads is what's gonna make you, and tough times is what's gonna make you. And then when you get through that, and when you go to the top, and when you get to the top, you'll just say, "Wow," and you won't have nothing to regret. So that's what I have to learn. I'm still learning that, even with me being this young, and I will be world champion, and that's how that's gonna go. And I hope the world can be world champion in life or whatever you do.
It's well said, Rajon, Picasso, Chance. I want to thank you so much for the time. Thank you for the words of wisdom there. I have no
Thank you.
doubt that you're going to continue in your career and be very successful, be world champion one day. I think
Thank
all
you.
the tools are there with everything you're doing. So I wish you best of luck. I look forward to
Thank
keeping
you.
the conversation going as you continue in your career. And thank you for the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.